The iPhone 6 came out like 12 years ago, so back in 2014, towards the end of it, so maybe like 11 and a half years. And one of its main features was how thin it was. But how is it holding up in like 2026? Okay, so I started off by like testing out the camera. So it has a single camera and a flash. And honestly, the camera surprised me. Like I expected it to be a lot worse than it actually was. The videos, however, are kind of grainy, so the photos are a lot better than the videos. Like phones nowadays, the photos and videos are usually around the same like quality, but this one, the videos are noticeably worse than the photos. And now since it only has a single lens though, all the zooming on it is digital zooming. So it, first of all, doesn't zoom in very much. And when it does zoom in, you see like a noticeable drop in quality. And then I decided to look at the battery health. So the battery health like surprised me. Like this is a 12-year-old phone and it was at 100% battery health. That is more battery health than my 3-year-old iPhone 15. That is insane. Now, obviously the battery is like 2000 milliamp hours smaller than my iPhone 15. And so I didn't do a battery test of this, but I did look it up and it's supposed to last you like 10 hours to like a day or something like that. So again, I didn't do a battery test, but that's apparently how long it's supposed to last you. But it also charges the battery up pretty fast. Like the charging speed is pretty quick and it surprised me again. I think my expectations were a little low for this phone though. And then I decided to like explore the software a little bit. So the iPhone, so this one is running the latest iOS it can run, which is iOS 12. And I low-key actually like this software a lot, especially like the Apple Music. Like the old Apple Music design in iOS 12, which is what this is running, is actually really nice. Now, I probably do prefer the newer Apple Music design though that they have now, just because it's faster and it's just easier to navigate, especially on like the scroll wheel to like go like forwards and backwards in a song. The phone also has a fingerprint scanner, obviously. Now, it is slow compared to what we have nowadays, but for the time, 2014, this was a really good fingerprint scanner. Now, the two problems I do have with this software is there's less customizability, so all the apps have to stay on the grid. And wallpapers, like they're so much harder to change and there's less customizability with them. But other than that, I like the aesthetic of iOS 12 a lot. And like I was alive during iOS 12, but I was like 5, so I don't really remember this. And then the body of this phone. So I have the gold color right here. They might as well just call this rose gold. And honestly, this color is nicer than all the colors in the iPhone 17 Pro. It's just a really nice color. And just the body of this phone is really nice. It's thin, which I really like. It's really light, and the color, as I said, is really nice. Now, it's not as thin as the iPhone Air that we got this year. The iPhone Air is 5.6 millimeters thin, and this is 6.9 millimeters thin. So there is a bit of a difference, but it still is thinner than like my iPhone 15, and it's on this thinner side of phones, even compared to phones nowadays. And honestly, that's just my favorite part about the phone. It's a very pretty looking phone, and the color is nice. It's very light. It's very thin. Like, if you wanted to, could you like daily drive this in 2026? No, because the latest software it can run is iOS 12, and a ton of apps like Instagram, YouTube, Google Chrome, all those, they need later iOSs. Like Google Chrome is like iOS 17 or something, so you wouldn't be able to run any of those apps, and a ton more. Like those were just a couple examples. Also, the battery life is almost for sure not gonna last you the whole day, because again, as I said, it's a small phone and it's thin, and the chip isn't as good as like optimizing the battery as, for instance, the iPhone Air that came out in September of 2025 would be able to do. So yeah, you can daily drive this in 2026, but it still is a really cool phone, and it was really good, especially for the time. And I just like the aesthetic and the visuals of this phone a lot. It's a nice phone. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.